Okay, we are ready to start painting our bulldogs, and we've practiced creating different values of color. Hopefully you've gotten a chance to experiment with that. Today I'm going to start by painting my bulldog all the tradition or the hue. So yellow was my hue, it's my pure color. I'm going to paint his entire face yellow. And then I will start mixing my colors, but I want to start off with one hue. Now I did get myself 2 brushes because I thought when I get in between things, when it starts to get to be in these really narrow spaces, I didn't want to use as wide of a brush, and so you can make that decision. However, if you use 2 brushes, you're also responsible to clean out 2 brushes. Ready to move on to the mixing of my light. And I'm not going to go dark yet. You know, the last thing you want to do is that black, because once you get that into your brush, you have to be really careful you get it all out if you're trying to switch back to the light color. So I'm gonna stick with the lighter color. So I'm going to mix them. These guys are actually touching right here, so I'm going to actually mix it right there. I'm going to get myself a little bit lighter value. Where would the light be hitting my bulldog? Well, if it's shining down on his face, we know that the top of his snout is going to be a lighter area, so I'm going to make that a little bit lighter. And this is not much lighter. That's okay. I'm just going to put it in some places that I think the light would be catching on. I think the light would be catching on the top of his ear and on his eyebrows. Definitely on the top of his head. Okay. And let's see, probably just the top of these kind of wrinkles here. Okay. Maybe I'll do them on one side more like the light's coming this way. Well, I could do it this way. I don't know. All right, now I've got 2 different values. They're pretty similar values. Oh, I should probably, I'm going to paint over this again. Each time I get a chance, I'm going to paint right over that line because I want to get rid of it. Maybe I'll just put the white over it to start with and let it dry there a little bit because I do not want that line to be there. Okay, or there. All right, now I'm ready to go even lighter. So I already have yellow in my brush. In order to not get too much yellow this time, I'm just going to use what's in my brush and stir it into the edge of my white. I'm leaving some white here in case I need it for touch-ups later. I'm just going to mix a little bit of this in with the yellow that's in my brush. And if this is too light, I can always add a little bit more yellow. I'm going to do this again on the brows. Definitely the top of his snout. The edge of his lip. Maybe his cheeks, top of his ears, top of his head, or maybe that little crease in his brow there would probably be like wrinkled up and catching the light. Chin. Okay, actually that should probably be darker down there. I might go back in with some yellow. So anywhere that you think, oh man, I really didn't want it to be that color, you can go back with your yellow, paint over it. Okay, I know I'm going to have to go over this line with black again because I know I don't want it to look like that. But it's okay right now. I'm just going to let it dry. All right, I'm ready to do my background, which means I'm going to add a teeny tiny little bit of black. So I'm just going to dip the corner of my brush in black, and I'm going to mix it in with some of my yellow. And ooh, look at how fast that went. Way too dark. I don't want it that dark. So I'm going to actually take my brush that already has a bunch in it and wipe off as much as I can. Look how green that looks. Isn't that interesting? I'm going to take this that has just a teeny bit in it, and I'm going to stir it into this area. Yeah, that's better. I don't want to get that dark yet, although I will put some of that in my background. I just want it to be slightly darker. So you see how this kind of makes it look like more of a tan color? But I want it to get darker than this in some areas of the background because I want my bulldog to just really pop out. So actually I'm going to mix these 2 together, just a corner, and just a little bit more in here. Yeah, there we go. So that it looks like more of a tan color. And you'll see as I get darker, let me do the darker over here. You'll see how different, and you got to decide this as the artist, you got to decide how dark do I want my background to be. If you do it too light, it's not going to, your bulldog isn't going to stand out. I think I'm going to add a little bit more just so you can see the difference here. Ooh, that's a lot more. So let's say you do this, what I just did, You don't want to have a big line right here between them, so find a value that's somewhere in between and blend those colors so that they look like they go together, okay? You can even mix on your paper. So I just dipped into my yellow and mixed it in with this to kind of lighten it a little bit so that it'll blend in with my other side. As I go around, I want it to be kind of darker on one side and then maybe lighter over here. Once you have everything painted in, then that last thing you're going to do is use your black paint to do touch-ups. So I'm going to switch back to my skinnier brush. I know I don't have to wash it out because black's a glossy color. I'm going to put black on it, but I'm going to wipe some of it off because I really don't want too much. When you're trying to do this skinny line, remember that loaded up brush can be very thick. It can give you a very thick line if you have too much on your brush. So all right, my touch-ups are complete and I'm ready for the drying rack.